The threat is not only about disbelief but erasure, a warning that her truth, no matter how real, can be systematically denied by the man who claims to love her and the social structures aligned with him. In this moment of quiet despair, Claire experiences a pivotal internal shift. She whispers to herself, "Maybe I don't need them to believe me. Maybe I just need to believe me." The phrase encapsulates a profound turning point. Empowerment begins internally, rooted in self-trust rather than external validation. The audience, fully immersed in her psychological and emotional journey, feels the delicate tension between despair and emerging agency, setting the stage for Claire's eventual confrontation and reclamation of power. The story reaches a boiling point when Claire returns home unexpectedly, her heart pounding with anticipation and dread. Entering their shared bedroom, she discovers Ryan in an intimate moment with the other woman, a scene that, under normal circumstances, would ignite fury, tears, and confrontation. Yet Claire's response is calculated and controlled. Years of emotional build-up and meticulous observation have honed her resolve. Rather than succumbing to instinctive anger, she silently documents the scene, taking photos and noting details with precision. This quiet approach demonstrates her transformation from a woman manipulated into doubt to one wielding control over her narrative. The audience, witnessing this juxtaposition of calm and devastation, feels the full weight of her power and restraint. Every small gesture, closing drawers carefully, ensuring she leaves no trace of her presence, signals mastery over the situation. The dramatic tension is heightened because Claire's actions subvert audience expectations. Instead of confrontation and chaos, there is strategy and silence, a reversal that underscores her growing agency. This moment also visually represents the culmination of the story's rising tension. Her meticulous collection of evidence transforms betrayal from a vague, internalized torment into something tangible and actionable, setting the stage for the larger revelations and confrontations to come. By choosing observation over impulse, Claire asserts her autonomy, marking a pivotal step in reclaiming both her life and narrative. The emotional devastation intensifies when the layers of betrayal are fully revealed. Claire uncovers that Ryan's infidelity was only the tip of the iceberg. He has been siphoning funds from their joint accounts into hidden bank accounts, revealing the calculated financial manipulation that has accompanied his emotional deceit. This revelation reframes the audience's understanding of Ryan not merely as an unfaithful husband, but as someone orchestrating a comprehensive scheme to control every aspect of Claire's life. The twist deepens the stakes. Betrayal is no longer solely intimate or emotional but systemic and material. The audience recognizes the meticulous cruelty behind Ryan's charm and public persona, feeling the impact of manipulation that extends beyond the bedroom. This layered betrayal underscores the story's central theme. Trust, once fractured, allows deception to infiltrate every facet of daily life. It also validates Claire's prior suspicions and investigative actions, positioning her not as a passive victim but as a perceptive strategist who has been documenting and preparing for this revelation. Financial and emotional manipulation converge to heighten tension, giving Claire's eventual confrontation more weight and dramatic satisfaction. Her deliberate accumulation of evidence demonstrates foresight, intelligence, and emotional growth, qualities that elevate her from a figure of sympathy to one of empowerment, capable of confronting not just the man she once loved, but the systemic deception he represents. The climax culminates in a final, emotionally charged confrontation. Ryan, furious and unmasked, screams that Claire is nothing without him, attempting one last act of psychological domination. But Claire, transformed by her experiences, does not cry, beg, or retreat. Instead, she laughs, a sound that carries disbelief, empowerment, and liberation all at once. Her words, sharp and precise, cut through the layers of deception. "You've been lying so long you don't even know what truth feels like anymore." This moment signifies a profound breakthrough. For the first time, she separates herself from the trauma, seeing Ryan's manipulation for what it truly is, a reflection of his pathology, not her weakness. The audience experiences catharsis alongside Claire, witnessing the ultimate reversal of power in the narrative. No longer a pawn in Ryan's carefully constructed game, she stands as an autonomous agent, fully aware of both her agency and the full scope of betrayal she has endured. The scene balances tension, satisfaction, and emotional resonance, cementing the story's central arc. from trust and illusion to clarity and empowerment. The laughter and clarity in Claire's breakthrough leave viewers with a lasting impression of strength, resilience, and the triumph of self-belief over deceit. After the explosive climax, Claire takes deliberate steps to reclaim control over her life, transforming trauma into empowerment. She initiates divorce proceedings, armed not only with emotional clarity but also with meticulously gathered evidence of Ryan's financial misconduct and infidelity. The act of filing is symbolic, a legal affirmation of her autonomy and an outward manifestation of the inner strength she has cultivated throughout her journey. Moving into a small, sunlit apartment filled with plants and personal touches represents a stark contrast to the suffocating environment she left behind. The space is both literal and metaphorical, a canvas for her self-expression, a sanctuary where she can breathe freely, and a physical manifestation of independence. Slowly, she reconnects with her sister Maya, mending fractured family ties that Ryan's manipulations had strained. Through these relationships and personal rituals, Claire reconstructs a sense of belonging and community. Every small step, organizing her apartment, caring for plants, meeting a friend for coffee, marks progress and reinforces the narrative's emotional weight. The audience is invited to witness Claire's transformation, seeing not just survival but thriving, as her life becomes guided by her choices rather than the whims of another's deception. The arc from betrayal to empowerment resonates deeply because it balances internal growth with tangible actions, highlighting resilience and self-determination as the core of her victory. The narrative tension heightens once again in the courtroom, where Ryan attempts to discredit Claire publicly. His fury and entitlement clash against her calm, prepared demeanor, creating a dramatic showdown that underscores the power of truth and preparation. As Ryan smears her character, Claire methodically presents the documents, recordings, and evidence she collected throughout the story, revealing the full scope of his deception. The meticulousness of her case highlights her intelligence and strategic growth, turning prior moments of vulnerability into strengths. Evelyn, Ryan's mother, who previously manipulated social perception against Claire, witnesses the courtroom revelations firsthand. Her shock and embarrassment are palpable as the lies unravel, culminating in her storming out in shame. The courtroom scene not only serves as legal resolution but also emotional vindication, validating Claire's journey and reinforcing the narrative theme of truth prevailing over manipulation. The audience experiences catharsis, watching justice take shape not through melodrama but through careful, deliberate action and the culmination of Claire's empowerment arc. Beyond legal victories, the story emphasizes emotional reclamation. Claire journals again, her words reflecting self-discovery and resilience. "He didn't destroy me. He introduced me to myself." This line encapsulates her journey, showing that the ultimate triumph is internal. She has reclaimed agency, rebuilt her life on her terms, and established boundaries that protect her emotional well-being. Through small, intimate rituals, morning coffee in sunlight, tending to her plants, reconnecting with loved ones, Claire practices self-care and nurtures her independence. The audience witnesses a holistic resolution. She is safe, empowered, and emotionally grounded. The arc concludes not with vindictive revenge or melodramatic closure, but with quiet dignity, strength, and a sense of purpose. This final emotional beat leaves viewers with a resonant message about resilience, the power of self-belief, and the ability to transform pain into personal growth. Claire's journey from betrayal to self-empowerment is complete, balancing narrative satisfaction with psychological realism and lasting emotional impact. Claire's journey toward liberation finds its most tangible expression in a simple yet profoundly symbolic act: removing her wedding ring and sending it to a women's shelter. The ring, once a representation of love, trust, and societal expectation, has become a reminder of betrayal and confinement. By mailing it with a note, "May this never be someone else's cage," Claire transforms an object of personal pain into a gesture of solidarity, empathy, and hope for others. The act signifies more than closure, it reflects a conscious reclaiming of agency. She controls the narrative now, turning a symbol of limitation into one of empowerment. The audience feels the emotional resonance of this gesture, recognizing that healing is often a deliberate act of choice rather than a spontaneous occurrence. Every small detail, the careful wrapping of the ring, the precision of her handwriting, The act of mailing it into the world reinforces the thematic focus on self-determination and moral integrity. This moment also signals a psychological release. Claire is no longer tethered to Ryan's manipulation or the past that attempted to define her. In a story that has explored betrayal, gaslighting, and isolation, this act is both intimate and universally relatable, offering viewers a visual and emotional representation of freedom. The symbolism works on multiple levels, marrying narrative closure with thematic weight. She has not only survived deception but has actively converted the remnants of pain into a beacon for others, cementing the empowerment arc in a single, poignant gesture. Following her symbolic gesture, Claire seeks a serene, contemplative space, settling in a small cafe overlooking the ocean. The setting mirrors her internal state, calm, open, and unburdened by the turbulence of past experiences. As she sips coffee, the rhythmic sound of waves provides a meditative backdrop, allowing her to process months of betrayal, struggle, and growth. The narrative introduces Daniel in a subtle, understated way. He passes by, offering quiet kindness rather than dramatic heroics. He places a coffee on her table, smiles gently, and leaves without fanfare, reinforcing the story's emphasis on authentic connection over spectacle. This brief interaction conveys warmth, recognition, and shared humanity, highlighting that healing often emerges through small, genuine gestures rather than grand resolutions. The audience feels Claire's inner peace resonate in tandem with the natural setting. The vastness of the ocean reflects openness to life, the sunlight glancing off the waves mirrors hope, and the soft murmurs of the cafe symbolize the gentle rhythm of a reconstructed life. By framing emotional recovery within a quiet, naturalistic moment, the story underscores that empowerment and healing are ongoing processes rooted in reflection, self-respect, and mindful engagement with the world around her. This scene bridges personal transformation with relational connection, illustrating that liberation includes both self-reliance and the ability to accept kindness without dependence or expectation. The final image cements Claire's emotional closure and narrative triumph. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting warm, golden light over the ocean, she opens her journal and writes, "When love turned into a lie, I thought I'd lose everything. But I found the only thing that mattered. I found me." These words encapsulate the arc of the story, affirming that the greatest victory is self-discovery and self-possession. The visual, a woman bathed in sunlight, pen in hand, waves stretching infinitely before her, evokes a cinematic sense of serenity, liberation, and enduring strength. It contrasts sharply with the darkness of betrayal and the suffocating tension of manipulation explored earlier, highlighting how far she has traveled emotionally and psychologically. The audience is left with a resonant sense of completion. Claire has navigated trauma, reclaimed agency, and arrived at a space of inner peace and clarity. The combination of reflective journaling, natural beauty, and understated human connection solidifies the thematic core. Healing, empowerment, and self-trust are the ultimate forms of triumph. By closing on this intimate yet expansive note, the story emphasizes that resolution is not defined by revenge or public vindication but by personal truth and alignment with one's authentic self. The final beat lingers in the mind, leaving viewers inspired and emotionally satisfied as they witness the full arc from betrayal to self-realization and quiet empowerment.